In this week's Bleach, Mayuri's got some plans.
So comically mischievous!
Bleach, chapter 636, Sensitive Monster, picks up with Mumbles expanding the inside of its hood.
I don't feel so good.
Zaraki is confused by the head expansion, but Mayuri says there must be an explanation. He even says it's actually kinda creepy.
How ironic.
We then see Ikkaku mentioning they lost their chance to join the fight, but Yumichika says they just get in the way. And Nemu agrees, as she believes her captain isn't in enough trouble to call for her help. Ikkaku says it's the same for Zaraki.
Just shut your lips and learn.
All of a sudden, Zaraki's arm begins contorting out of control like a fucking windmill. He simply takes one look at it and decides to just rip off his own arm.
Oh, my arm! It's broken!
He throws it to the ground and rips the sword from his mangled arm. The arm then contorts so much that it becomes a pool of blood.
Well, there's something you don't see every day.
Mayuri compliments Zaraki for his quick thinking of ripping his arm off. Brushing it off as an insult, Zaraki asks him what he thinks this thing's power is.
I have no fucking idea.
Mayuri advises they keep their distance and calls upon Nemu to stop the bleeding on Zaraki's arm. Zaraki then ponders how he's supposed to kill it without getting close.
Don't ask stupid questions.
That time he was just talking to himself and charges in, hoping he can split the guy in two before it uses its own power.
Are you out of your fucking mind?
He lands a blow on the hood, but it looks like he only managed to piss Mumbles off.
Oh!
1 second all is well, the next, Zaraki's legs are snapped like twigs.
I think my legs might be broken, but I'll try to stand up. Ah! Yes! They are broken!
A blade then pierces through Zaraki and we see Mayuri has stabbed him.
Little traitor!
Zaraki clearly feels like he's been betrayed, but Mayuri notes that stopping the limbs only leads to everything else snapping. He then activates Fear Factor 4 with his creepy baby Zanpakuto.
I hate babies.
Nemu tells the rest to cover their ears or they'll be paralyzed after 4 seconds. However, this appears to help Zaraki recover.
I need to get through this before I get a goddamn coronary.
Mayuri states that paralysis has affected both Zaraki and Mumbles. He deduces that Mumbles' power is to send nerves to his enemy's body and manipulate their movements.
I think you're a dangerous sociopath.
You're absolutely right.
Mumbles then sends out these black veins that Mayuri easily blocks and says it's not even worth fearing.
Just saying that gave me a semi.
He taunts Mumbles' abilities, mentioning all the drugs he has for the nervous system. Mumbles has a meltdown and removes his hood to reveal nothing, cause that's where the chapter ends.
God f***ing damn it!
I enjoyed this week's chapter. Got to see that Zaraki's method of just slicing up the enemy isn't always the answer. I'm sure some of you think this made him look weak, but the man ripped off his fucking arm, which I think he'll be able to get back somehow. I think this is more about how strong Mumbles is. The thing is pissed Zaraki managed to get a hit on him, and he's taking his frustration out on his body. We basically knew what Mumbles could do, but we saw to what extent he can go now that he's in rage mode after turning Zaraki's arm into a puddle of blood. But with Zaraki now out of his control after being paralyzed, he's got bigger problems to worry about.
Why are you so sweaty? I was watching Cops.
Mayuri being able to figure out Mumbles' abilities after one chapter did not surprise me. In typical fashion, he used someone as a guinea pig to observe the enemy, then save them after figuring out a counter method. Explaining that Mumbles was simply sending out his own nerves to control the enemy made enough sense for me. I do still wonder if the little chance he did before controlling someone is still a thing, or if it means absolutely nothing. But now that he's been figured out, it looks like Mayuri is going to have another fun drug experiment lined up for him.
It's a bad thing to do drugs, so don't be bad.
So I'll give this chapter an 8 out of 10. Zaraki sacrificed a lot already in this fight, Mayuri gave insight on the ability of nerve manipulation, and Mumbles' true form should be shown next week. For my question of the week, will Zaraki remain one-armed for the rest of his life? Or do you think Mayuri can help him out? Favorite comments always featured in the next review. Here are last week's winners. Alright, that does it for me. Remember to leave your thoughts on the chapter in the comments below. Like and subscribe for more weekly Bleach chapter reviews, and don't forget to follow me on Twitter. I'll be back next week with the true identity of Mumbles. Peace!